Hello everyone, welcome to Needful Things again. Here we are in week 4 of our Throw Along Crochet. I really appreciate your patience from last week from Hurricane Milton. It was quite a frightening experience that I really never want to go through again. And my heart goes out to everyone who has been devastated and touched in horrible ways by the storm. And I hope that every day will get better. With that said, I'm sorry about missing week 4, but now we're going to do week 4 this week. We'll be out. So let's get ready. So when you finished last time, you should have finished on the single crochet row, ending at the end of the row on the front side of your work, right here. So that's where we finished. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Oh, it's getting bigger. I need a larger table. Okay. So what we're going to do now is half double crochets, and we're working on the back side of the work now. So we're on row 35, I believe this is, and we're just going to yarn over, and these are done in the back loops. And by back loop on here, I mean this back loop. So we're going to do a half double crochet, half double crochet. I'm doing them in these, it's really this loop right here, this back loop of the stitch right here. We're on the back side of the work, and we're doing half double crochets just in that one loop. Make sure you keep them in the back loop of your work, just that one back loop there. Which if you're looking at it from this way, you'll say, oh, that's the front loop. The reason I'm calling it the back loop is because if you were looking from the front, that would be the back loop. So that's why I'm calling it that, so you know that. So just continue doing your half double crochets all the way across the row. We have 200 stitches. Very easy. Okay, so just do that all the way across your row, like so. And I'll meet you back when we get to the end, okay? So I'll meet you back when we get to the end of the row of the half double crochets. Okay, so now I'm coming to the end of my first row of half double crochets. Working from the back side, and remember when I say the back loops on the back rows, I always mean this loop. You're going to think it's the front one because it's closer to you because you're on the back side. But no, it's always that loop. So I'm finishing up my half double crochets in that back loop, which to you might look like a front loop, but it's the back loop of the stitch that we're working in. Coming to the end of the row. Now there's going to, in between this, there's always going to be 5 rows of half double crochets in this section that we're doing like that. Okay, so there we're at the end of the row of half double crochets. That's row number 35. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work for row 36. And on row 36, we've chained 1 and turned. Row 36 is going to be another row of half double crochets in that back loop. You see, there's a back loop there. It's going to be in that back loop, like that, half doubles. Okay, back loop. Don't miss the first stitch. So we're going to do half double crochets all the way across this row as well in the back loop. Now you'll understand why we're doing the back loops the other way. Because like when I say back loop here, you say, oh, that's the back loop. Yes, it is. But when we turn the work around working from the back, we're going to be working in those loops that are closer to you. But I'm still calling it the back loop. Just so you know. I hope that makes sense. So we're doing back loops only. And all of the half double crochet rows will be in the back loops like that, one or the other. If you're working from the back, it'll be that other loop like I showed you. And when you're working from the front like we are now, it's in the back loop, which is pretty easy to see. Okay, so we're going to do 5 rows of half double crochets. We did 1. This is 2. So we have 3, 4, and 5. And that will take us through it will be row 35, row 36, row 37, row 38, and row 39. And that will be our 5 rows of half double crochets in the back loop. And then I'll meet you back right before I finish my 5th row of half double crochets. And if you want to know for a reference or to maybe help you make sure you're on the right track, row 35 of half double crochets, you'll be working on the back side of your work. Row 36, you'll be working on the front side of your work. Row 37, you'll be working on the back side. Row 38, you'll be working on the front side of your work. And row 39, you'll be working on the back side of your work. And it's very important that row 39 is on the back side, your half double crochets, because we're going to do something different on row 40. Okay, so finish up your 5 rows of half double crochets. Last one should be done on the back row, so you'll be on the front for row 40. So I'll meet you up when we get our 5 rows of half double crochets done in the back loops. Okay, so just keep doing that. I know it's a lot of stitches, but I'm doing it with you, and it's I just want you to know I haven't pre-made any videos. When I give you the stitches for the week, I'm doing them with you, and so I will do them right along with you. And my blanket is no bigger than your blanket. And I don't have one finished. We're doing it together. That's the whole purpose. And see, this is where we're going now. So you do your 5 rows of half double crochets, and I'll meet you back up in the end of the last row. Okay, so now I'm coming to the end of my 5th row of the half double crochets. And we're going to chain 1 when we get to the end. And you should be on your back of your work at this point, finishing up your 5th row of half double crochets. Don't forget the one on the end, chain 1, and turn your work. Okay. So now what we're going to do is a sort of a type of a cable stitch. It's kind of like a pseudo cable, but it looks like a cable, so it will be really pretty on our throw. So what we're going to do here is we're going to begin with yarn over, and we're going to do, excuse me, 2 half double crochets like that. We're going to do 2 half doubles, first 2 stitches. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, like that. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and we're going to skip 1 and 2 and single crochet into that next stitch, like that, okay. Then we're going to turn our work around a little bit, and in those 3 chains that we did, there's 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going to just simply single crochet, 1, 2, and 3, like that. And then we're just going to slip stitch into that stitch there, turn our work, yarn over. Now what we're going to do is go into the 2 skip stitches from the back like this, go into the stitch, and we're going to do half doubles. 1, 2, so that we don't lose a stitch. And remember, we have 2 stitches here. When we go back to the other end, we'll have 2 there. Okay, got that? And it gives us that little cable type stitch there. So now we're going to, after we do that, we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2, 1, 2. Go into the next one, single crochet. Turn your work to the back. And in those 3 chains, we're going to do single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to slip stitch into that 4th stitch. Turn your work back to the front. It's a little twisty, but you'll get used to it. Yarn over, go into the, from the back, we're going to go into the skip stitches. Do a half double crochet in the first one. Half double crochet in the second one. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 2. Now make sure you don't get into that. That's already worked. 1, 2, single crochet. Turn your work to the back. Single crochet in those 3 chains you just made. Excuse me. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch into that next stitch. Turn your work back around, yarn over, do the 2 half doubles from the back into the stitches. If you need to, you can push that down, but you'll get used to it after doing it a few times. And like that, and this is what we're doing. It makes a nice little cable type stitch. Okay, so I'll continue with you, because this one's a little tricky sometimes, especially when you have to twist it around to the back, but you get used to it really quickly. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, go into the next one, make a single crochet. Turn your work to the back, or however it's comfortable for you. In those 3 chains, we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then the next stitch, we're going to just do a slip stitch. Turn our work back to the front, yarn over, go behind the 3 singles that we just did on the chain, and do half double crochets in the 2 skip stitches. There's 1, there's 2, chain 3, skip 2, go to this side, 3 single crochets, slip stitch, turn your work, yarn over, half double crochets in the 2 skip stitches, right here, like that. And so here's what we're doing. Remember, this is going to be used vertically, not horizontal. So we're going to have a nice cable that runs up there like this. And so we're going to continue to work that. I'm trying to keep this out of the way so you don't get all that fabric in view. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, skip 2, single crochet in the 3 chains, slip stitch in the next stitch, turn your work, yarn over, do the 2 half doubles and the 2 skip stitches, you know, and sometimes some people like to push that little cable forward so they can just go right into the stitches. You just, however it works best for you, you just get used to your own rhythm. That's all you need to do. But we have to be very careful when we do the next row because you don't want to lose any stitches. So remember, you have to have 2 on the end there. Okay? And then in these bigger spaces, we're going to be putting 2 stitches so that we finish with our 200 stitches. Because you got to get those 2 stitches in the middle too. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, skip, single crochet. Oops. 3 single crochets in the chain. Slip stitch in the next stitch. Yarn over, turn your work. Go into the 2 skip stitches. Do 2 half double crochets, 1 in each stitch. Chain 3. Okay. I think you probably have gotten it by now. You may already know how to do this, but I'm just trying to go a little slower for those of you who may just be seeing this for the first time. It's very pretty stitch. You can use it for lots of things. It's not that difficult. You'll get used to the twisting and all, and you'll be like, oh, that's really easy. So now we've got our 3 chains. Skip 2. See that one? Sometimes you can think that's already been worked, but sometimes it may look like it's not. But make sure you don't go into there again. Skip 2, single crochet. 3 singles in the chain. Slip stitch in the next stitch. Turn your work back, yarn over, do 2 half doubles in the skip stitches. Whoops, I lost my yarn. 1 and 2. Chain 3. I'm going to do a few more with you so you can watch me do it. Because this is a new stitch to our pattern this week. But you'll know how to do it when you get through, I promise you that, because you're going to do a lot of them. Okay, we're in there, skip 2, 1, 2, there it is, third single crochet as you know. I'm just going to do it and you can watch. It's getting rather heavy. Okay. Excuse me. So now I'm just going to go through it one more time telling you what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna let you go into the end of the row, and I'll meet you right when we get almost to the end of the row. So I can show you what we're going to do there. So we're going to chain 3, skip 2, 1, 2, single crochet, get to that back section, do 3 singles in the chain we just made, 1, 2, and 3, and then do a slip stitch in the next stitch, yarn over and turn your work back to the front side. Then we're going to go in behind the cable and put 2 half doubles in these 2 stitches that we skipped, like so. Chain 3 and go on to the next one. And we're going to do that all the way across the row. So this is what it's going to be looking like. And like I said, remember we're going to be displaying this blanket horizontal, so the cable will be down like this. Okay? So you do that, and I'll meet you at almost when we get to the end of the row and show you what we're going to do there, okay? Okay, so I'm coming up to the end of my row of the little cable stitch. I've had to clear some more space for this fabric. Okay. Got a couple more to do. This is my last little cable section. Three single crochets in the chain of 3. Slip stitch into that 4th stitch. Yarn over, turn your work. Half double crochets in the 2 skipped stitches. There. Now we're at the end of the row. And we're going to finish the row as we started with 2 half double crochets, because that's how we started. There's 1, there's 2, find that stitch at the end, go through both of those loops, and there, I would like this a little bit tighter. Okay, yeah. Chain 1 and turn your work. This is what your work should be looking like on this row, all the way across there. So now we're going to turn back. Now I would really suggest that if you hate to count stitches, I would really suggest you do it on the next row, because we're going to chain 1 and turn. And you need to keep your count of 200 stitches. It's very important. So we know the first 2 are there. They're half double crochets. 1 and 2. Right? And so then if you look at your stitches, you have the next 2 coming up would be the 2 that are behind the cable. Right there. There's 1. There's 2. Okay. And so now what's going to happen is you're going to have to do, when you get to the larger part of that stitch there, you see the little larger hole there. You're going to put 1 stitch here in top of this right here, 1 stitch here. So we consider this the 1 stitch we just put here. Now inside this space here, you're going to put 2 stitches, and then right there you'll just put 1 stitch in that stitch, and every one of those larger holes just put 2 stitches. So it'll be 2, 1, 2, 1. That way you're getting your 3 complete stitches there. So, and make sure you do your counting, okay? And these are, this is row number, I believe, 41. So we're just going to do half double crochets across this entire section, okay? So we do 2 in that larger hole, and then 1 in this, just 1 stitch here, 2 in here, 1, 2, then just do 1 in that stitch, then do 2 in that stitch, 1, 2, then you're going to put 1 in that stitch, 1, 2, put 1 in that stitch, in the larger space there we're going to put 2 stitches, then in that 1 stitch right there we're just going to put 1 stitch, and you'll just do that all the way across, making sure you count your stitches as you go, because you have to end with your, your 200 stitches. Oops, sorry. You have to end with your 200 stitches. So what you have on the other side is the front is this. You'll sort of have 2 in each of those larger holes. It doesn't matter because it just helps you have a nice openness to your cable. And to make sure you have the 2 stitches in there, the 1 stitch there, the 2 stitches that you skipped. And so it keeps you covered. And make sure you count the stitches. And you're just going to do that all the way across. Okay? Until you reach the other side. And I'll be back with you when we get to the end of this row. Okay? I'll do a few more. So I know it can be confusing sometimes. Okay, we did our 1, so we're going to do our 2 in this larger space. 1 in this stitch. Make sure you're only getting 2 loops there. 2 in the larger space. We're doing half doubles. 1 in this space. 2 in the larger space. Half doubles. Okay? And that's what we're going to do all the way across the row. Okay? And this is also the first row of our next section of half doubles. Okay? So you could continue to do that to the end of the row, and when I get almost to the end, I'll come back and show you what we're going to do there, okay? Okay, so we finished the half double row. We're back on our front section. I chained 1 and I turned my work. And so this is our first row of half doubles. So we're just going to do 4 more rows of half doubles. Okay, so now we're on row 42, I believe. So 42, 43, 44, and 45 are all going to be rows of half doubles in the back loops like we did previously in the first rows of half double crochets, the first 5 rows here. Do it the same way. We're going to do that. We've already done 1 there coming from the back, our cable row. And so now we're going to do 4 more, and that'll be 5. And then on the 6th row, we'll do the cable again. So we're going to start here with our half doubles on this row in the back loop only. Like this. And so do your 5 rows of your half double crochets. Okay, we'll do 5 more rows just like we did here. Then you'll do 1 more cable. And then you'll do 5 more rows and 1 more cable. And what we're going to end up with is something that looks like this. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of the 5 rows of half double crochets. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of this, and we're going to end up with 4 sections of cable. So we'll do 5 more half double crochet rows and back loops only, like I showed you in the very first one, if you need to back up and look at that again. And then you're going to do these 5 rows, then you're going to do the cable row, and then 5 more rows until you have something that looks like this, which is a section of half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row is the cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row is the cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row is the cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row is the cable, and you'll end on this half double crochet row here, and it'll be something like that. Okay, so just continue doing your half double crochet rows, 5, and then do 1 row of the cable stitches, then do 5 more rows until you have 5 sections of the half double crochet sections and 4 sections of the cable. Okay, and when we get back almost to the end of that, I'll check in on you periodically to see how you're doing, and you can see where I am. Okay. Okay, so here we are. I'm almost finished with my sections of half double crochets and my cable stitches. And I'm on row 58, and I'm starting my last row of cables. So I've done my first 2 double crochet, half double crochets in the beginning there, 1 and 2. Now I'll do the chain 3, skip 2, single crochet in the next one, turn my work a little bit, do 3 single crochets in the chain that I created, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the next stitch, yarn over, turn my work back around. Now go behind that cable you just made and pick up the 2 missed stitches there with half double crochets. I'm just going over this again in case you need to hear it one more time before I finish these rows. And we'll chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and do it again. Skip 2, single crochet in the next one. Turn your work a little bit, do the 3 single crochets in the chains. Slip stitch in the next one, yarn over, turn your work back around, do the 2 half double crochets that you skipped the stitches behind the cable. You can push the cable forward if you need to, and that's what we're going to do all the way across this row. This is my final row of cables, and this is what your work should be looking like at this point. With the, it will be displayed, of course, vertically and not horizontal. We're working at horizontal, but the display is vertical. So here's what you will have when you get done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the 5 double half double crochets, and there will be 5 of those sections, and there will be 4 sections of the cable. 1, 2, 3. I've just started my 4th, and I'll have one more section of the 5 half double crochets in the back loops, like I showed you how to do it in the beginning of it. So when I get down to the end of my row of cable stitches, I will turn, of course, chain 1, turn, and I always count my stitches when I'm doing the cable row to make sure I maintain my 200 stitches. And then I'll finish the other 5 rows of the half double crochet and show you what we're going to do to finish up our stitches for this week. So get that done and I'll meet you back up here. Okay, so I've come to the end of my rows of my half double crochets, and I've chained 1 and I've turned. Well, I'm not at the end of them. I did the first row after the cable section. So I've done the first row. I've got 4 more rows of half double crochets, and that will make my 5 rows of half double crochets. And I'll be through with that section. So hopefully yours is looking something like this. It's getting rather large. Okay. Like this. And I got 4 more rows to do of the half double crochets, and I'll be done with this section. And I'll show you what we'll do on the last row. Okay. So I'm just going to start my half double crochet row in the back loops. Remember to do the back loops. And I also always count the row that I just did, the first row of half doubles, after the cable section. Because if you're going to lose stitches, that's probably where you're going to lose them. So be very careful on this row here. Make sure you count those stitches when you do the first half double row after the cable section, so you maintain your 200 stitch count. So I'm going to continue to do my half double crochets in the back loop. This is row 2 of that section. Okay, so you'll just continue along doing your half double crochets. I'm on my second row. That means I'll have 3 more to go, and I'll meet back up you with when we get to the end of that row, and I'll show you what we're going to do after the next one. Okay, so I'm at the end of my half double crochet section, my last one, as you can see. So now you'll be on the front side of your work, and the row is row 64. And you can take a little breather because all we're going to do across here is single crochets. Isn't that nice? It's pretty. That's what the back looks like. Okay. So, this will be row number 64, and it will be our last row for this week, week number 4. That's a lot of work to get done, I know. So next week will be week number 5, God willing, and another hurricane don't slam us. So we're going to do our stitches, singles all the way across. Very simple. Should have 200 stitches. This might be a good row for you to count to make sure you're back on track if you got off anywhere. Whoops. That is a very lazy stitch, and I do not like a lazy stitch. Tighten that up a little. Okay. So we're just doing simple single crochets all the way to the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, you'll just chain 1 and you'll be done for this week. I hope you're all enjoying the throw along crochet. It's been quite fun for me. As you see, I'm doing it at the same time you're doing it, perhaps. And that's all we're going to be doing until the end of this row. Okay. So continue that, and I'll meet you at the end of the row when you get done there. Okay, I'm coming to the end of my row of single crochets, as you can see. So I'll do the last few. My single crochet row. And chain 1. And that's all for this week. So we will see you next week on Needful Things Again for episode 5. And I'll give you your stitches then. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope everything's great for you. And I'll see you really soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and it really does help. Thank you so much.